Hello everyone, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. As you can see, even though it's cloudy here in southeast Louisiana, guys, ooh, is it humid. We're expecting some pretty good rain over the next 2 or 3 days. And I kept putting off getting these new transplants into the soil because of what the weather told me was supposed to happen at 8 o'clock this morning. It's now 1:30 in the afternoon and we've not had a drop of rain, even though it looks like that. So I looked up this Bible verse, Ecclesiastes 11:4. Whoever watches the wind will not plant, and whoever looks at the sky will not reap. And I thought, wow, that's me today. Like, I was staring at the sky, seeing these clouds come in, feeling the wind blow, just feeling it, thinking, wow, we're going to get some really bad weather here in southeast Louisiana. Maybe I shouldn't get any plants in the ground. And then that verse popped in my head, Ecclesiastes 11:4. And I realized what God was telling me. When it's time to get your food in the ground, you get your food in the ground. Sometimes we're going to get storms in life, guys. We live in a coastal state here in southeast Louisiana. Some of you live in tornado areas. Some of you live with winter storms that I cannot imagine, but I bet you can't imagine sweating like this in April either. So we're all from different areas. All I can say is, when you know it's time to get it in the ground, get it in the ground. And I knew that this food needed to go in the ground today. So let's talk about what I planted, how a companion planted, and what we're going to be doing a little different here at Starkey Farmstead this year. All right, guys, I wanted an early crop of pumpkins this year. So I will be succession planting throughout the year with the pumpkins because I do understand that they are a winter squash. But I will tell you this, I feed pumpkin to my rabbits, to my chickens, to my dogs, to my family, and especially the seeds year round. So as long as I can grow them, I like to have them fresh. They're just more potent that way. Pumpkin seeds can kill tapeworms. I say it all the time. So let me tell you what I've got going on here. I've got hibiscus, right? I transplanted hibiscus and then pumpkin. Then when you come down a little further, and this was the kicker, these are very hard to transplant. If you can direct seed, I advise you do so, but this is borage, okay? Borage is in the same family as comfrey. It has medicinal uses. It can be used for livestock, but guys, you can chop and drop it all over your garden for green manure. Then we have marigolds. Then we have pumpkins. Then we have hibiscus. Then we have pumpkin. Then we have marigold, pumpkin, hibiscus, borage, pumpkin, marigold, pumpkin. Now the cool thing about the marigold is it's going to bring in, your pollinators. It does take care of nematodes, but it's a really good companion plant for so many of the crops you're going to be growing this year. Pumpkin does super well in Louisiana. I will tell you what I will be intercropping, companion planting tomorrow together. Okra and watermelon. What? I mean, doesn't that get you excited? Watermelon and okra. Wait till I tell you how that combination can work together. So basically, what we have planted so far, guys, we have the no-till potatoes. Then we have a row of okra. Then we have 2 rows of direct-seeded red beans. And now we've got a row of transplanted marigold, hibiscus, pumpkin, borage. Then I'm going to direct seed okra again with transplanted watermelon between them. What? I am so excited about this garden this year. Like, I realized last year that all the same plants in one row, all the same plants in several rows, when a pest came, when a disease came, I risked losing it all. So this year, I'm not doing it because it's a market garden and I need to be able to make money from more than one plant at one time, okay? So I also need things that I can feed my livestock because I don't just sell the food here. A lot of it's fed back to the animals and then I sell the meat or the byproducts like the eggs, the manure. So the better the quality of that, the more sales I get. So it's like a beautiful cycle. Will tell you, I do have 2 rows of direct seeded okra here beside the tomato trellises. Now I am succession planting tomatoes this year. Because again, last year I had them all put in at the same time because it was mid-May. It was getting too hot. We knew if we didn't get the food in the ground, we would get nothing out of the ground. And I ended up losing them all. But hey, you know, I learned so much from that experience that I am now thankful for it. So you guys, don't look at the wind. Don't watch the sky. Trust God. Get out there, get something in the ground. It's gonna be okay. I will show you guys this real quick, just so you know and you're aware of it. This is how I pulled the mulch back around these transplants, okay? So that's gonna protect them as the rain comes in, all right? It's gonna protect them from the wind, from the rain, and hopefully keep them from being beaten down. So I highly suggest you deep mulch your gardens. Having learned to garden this way before I learned any other way, I cannot imagine the concepts of tilling and bare soil gardening. Like, my mind can't wrap itself around that. Like, I wasn't taught that way. It was never how my father gardened. It wasn't necessarily how I remember my grandfather's garden. So maybe it just runs in my blood to be different and to be regenerative. But I want you to really think about, if you're tilling your soil and you're leaving it bare, how does that work when you transplant a plant and bad weather comes in? What's protecting that tiny plant and its roots as it's establishing? I'm just asking. Like, I think a lot of people till because it's how you were taught, and they don't bring in mulch because that's how you were taught, but you don't understand what you're doing either. You just do it because that's how you were taught, but you don't understand the concept behind what you're doing. So if you do till, and if you know me, I'm really not being ugly. I'm not. It's just not how I roll. How do your transplants hold up in severe weather or heavy rains? Because we're literally supposed to rain straight for the next 3 days, then not rain a day, then rain 2 days straight. That's Louisiana. So people in Louisiana that you're tilling, how do your plants withstand that? Like, what's protecting them? I mean, I really am curious. And why do you till? Like, why is that better for your soil than not tilling? So you guys be blessed. Get something in the ground. Please like, comment, and subscribe.